After I gave birth, my mom refused to follow my rules about my newborn and tried to force her way in. She got angry when I said no, kissing the baby, then threatened to stop helping and sue for grandparents' rights. While I was in labor, she showed up at the hospital, telling nurses I was mentally unfit, just to get in. A week later, she came to my house, smiled, and kissed my baby while I begged her not to. "You're just being paranoid," she said. "One day he'll hate you for keeping him from me." Then I got a letter from her lawyer demanding visitation. I said, "We're done." My sister called me cruel. My mom sent one final text. "You'll regret this when he's older. You'll come crawling back." I, 27F, never thought I'd be one of those people on Reddit posting about their overbearing family. But here I am, 9 months pregnant, uncomfortable, exhausted, and absolutely done. So this all started about 2 weeks ago when I sat down with my mom, 59F, to set some boundaries before the baby arrived. You know, basic stuff. I didn't want her in the birthing room, and I asked her not to kiss the baby on the lips or face, especially since RSV, COVID, cold sores, etc. are all real things. I thought I was being reasonable. Spoiler, I was not met with reason. She immediately made this dramatic sigh and said, "So I guess I'm just a monster now, huh?" Like, no, I just don't want your saliva on my newborn. Then she went full nuclear and told me that if I treat her like this, she wouldn't babysit for me when I go back to work. She actually said, "Even if you pay me, I won't do it. Not if I'm going to be treated like a stranger." Okay, lady. You weren't even offering to babysit before this conversation, but sure. Then she dropped the bomb. "If you try to keep the baby from me, I'll take you to court for grandparents' rights." Excuse me? I laughed at first because it sounded so ridiculous. I told her she wouldn't win unless she could prove I was an unfit parent, or that I was cutting her off for no reason. Her response? "Well, I could just kiss him when you're not around. What are you going to do about that?" I'm sorry. What? And the worst part? She kept saying, "Your sister says you're being overprotective. Your sister says babies need love. Your sister says this is just hormones." So I did the logical thing and texted my sister, 41F, told her what was going on, asked her, nicely, if she really said all that and if she really thought I was being unreasonable. Her response? "OMG, you're being ridiculous. Babies have survived millions of years. You're not the first person to have a kid. You act like a kiss is going to kill him. Are you going to wear a hazmat suit every time you go outside too? Air has germs, you know." She actually put a laughing emoji. I don't even know how to describe the feeling of being this close to labor and realizing that two of the people I thought would be my support system just don't respect me as a parent. I told my mom firmly, again, that the kissing rule was not up for debate, and she just repeated that she'll do what she wants. Like I don't have a say in my own child's health. Like I'm just some silly little girl who read one too many mommy blogs. And then this morning at 5:30 a.m., my water broke. So here I am, lying in a hospital bed, writing this between contractions and trying not to completely break down. My partner, 28M, is here and supportive, thank God. But I keep thinking about how my mom's going to try to bulldoze her way into this hospital, how she's going to try to kiss my newborn, how she's going to act like she owns this baby just because she's the grandma. I'm scared. Not of the labor. I'm ready for that. I'm scared of what's coming after, of having to fight my own mother to protect my child, of how alone I suddenly feel in my own family. I always knew my mom could be a little much, but I never thought she'd threaten to sue me. I never thought she'd dismiss me like this. I'll update when I can. Baby is on the way. Edit. I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented and messaged support. I'm trying to stay calm and focus on labor, but knowing people hear me and believe me is helping more than I can say. Partners talking to hospital staff now about visitor policies. I'm asking them to block my mom from coming in unless I give explicit permission. Fingers crossed. Update. Hi again. Thanks to everyone who commented on my last post. I read every single one, in between trying to figure out how to nurse a tiny angry potato who screams like he's being murdered by air. I wish I was coming back with a happier update, but buckle up. So, baby boy was born 2 days ago. He's healthy, beautiful, has more hair than expected, and makes this little squeak when he yawns that absolutely kills me. The labor was hard, but the real battle started after he arrived. I told the nurses before and during labor that I did not want my mother at the hospital. They were amazing about it. My partner gave them her name and photo, and they put a "do not admit" flag on the visitor system. I thought we were safe, except my mom doesn't know how to take no for an answer. Around 11 hours after I gave birth, while I was half conscious, leaking from every orifice and trying to get my baby to latch, a nurse came in and told me there was a very insistent woman at the front desk claiming to be your mother. She said the woman had been calling the front desk repeatedly, saying it was an emergency and that she had to see me and the baby. I told the nurse, Again, no visitors, no mom. Not even an hour later, I'm dozing off between feedings and I hear my partner whispering furiously in the hallway. He'd gone to grab a coffee and came back to find my mom arguing with a nurse just outside the maternity ward. Apparently, she tried to sneak past the check-in desk by waiting for a shift change. A literal nurse caught her in the hallway and turned her around. And get this, she told the staff she had to check on me because I had postpartum depression and was mentally unwell. What? She seriously tried to paint me as unstable so she could push her way into my hospital room. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I told the nurse manager everything and asked for security to be notified if she came back again. My partner, bless his soul, completely went off on her in the lobby. I wasn't there. But he told me she said, "You don't get to keep my grandchild from me. I was just trying to help." No. You were trying to stomp all over my boundaries during one of the most vulnerable moments of my life. After she was escorted out, I got a long text from my sister. It started with, "I don't want to get in the middle of things," but classic, and ended with a guilt trip about how our mom is just so excited, and I'm being cruel by punishing her for loving too much. She also included a line that made me want to scream, "You'll understand one day when your son treats you like this." Oh, okay. So I guess I should just hand my baby over and let my mom lick his forehead or whatever because family. We came home yesterday. I haven't responded to either of them. My partner and I agreed on a rule. No visitors for the first 2 weeks, period. We need time to rest, adjust, and bond without drama. I'm tired. My whole body hurts. I'm trying to keep a tiny human alive. And instead of helping, my mom and sister are making it about them. I've spent the last day swinging between feeling guilty and furious. And then I look at my son, curled up on my chest, trusting me completely, and I remember why I set those boundaries in the first place. More updates soon. I don't think this is over. Edit. A few people messaged asking if we're documenting everything. Yes, my partner is saving texts, voicemails, and screenshots in a shared folder. Just in case. I really hope it doesn't come to that, but with the grandparents' rights threat, I'm not taking chances. Update 2. So, I wish I could say things calmed down after we got home. But no, that would require my mother to have an ounce of self-control or respect. Spoiler, she does not. We're 1 week postpartum. I'm sleep-deprived, hormonal, leaking milk like a broken faucet and constantly Googling, is it normal for newborns to look like angry old men? But despite everything, the baby and I were finding a rhythm. Until yesterday. Around 2 p.m., I'm finally settling into the couch with baby in my arms. He'd just finished nursing and passed out in that milk-drunk angel way. My partner was out running errands. I hear the doorbell ring. I wasn't expecting anyone. We had made it very clear. No visitors for 2 weeks. So I peek through the window. It's my mom. I freeze. She sees me through the glass and waves like we're best friends. I open the door a crack, baby still on my chest, and immediately say, "Mom, you're not supposed to be here." She smiles sweetly and says, "I just wanted to drop off a few things. Some clothes for the baby and some soup I made for you. I'll only be a minute." I should have shut the door. That's on me. I was tired. I let the guilt creep in. I open the door the rest of the way and say, "Okay, but I'm serious. Please don't touch him. I don't want him exposed to anything yet." She nods. Of course, of course." She walks in, drops the bag on the counter, and then, before I can even process what's happening, leans over and kisses my baby right on his cheek. I physically recoiled. I didn't even have time to react before she said, "See, he's fine. You're being paranoid." I lost it. I told her to leave. Now that she was completely out of line and I didn't care what her intentions were. I told her she was putting her own wants above my baby's safety and I didn't trust her anymore. She just blinked at me like I was crazy. Then she said, "I'm his grandmother. You can't keep me away forever." I repeated myself, "Leave." Now she left in a huff, muttering about how I was going to regret this and that I was turning into one of those moms. 10 minutes later, I get a text from my sister. "Seriously? You kicked mom out for kissing her grandchild? You need therapy." No, what I need is for people to respect my boundaries. I don't care if I sound overprotective. My baby's immune system is brand new, and if a kiss gives him RSV or worse, I will be the one in the ER. Not my mom, not my sister. My partner came home and was furious when I told him. We've since installed a video doorbell and are looking into legal advice just to understand our options. I feel insane that it's come to this, but this is exactly what people meant when they said, "Protect your peace postpartum." We're now seriously considering going low or no contact with my mom for the foreseeable future. I wanted her to be part of my son's life, but if this is what it looks like, I'm out. I just can't deal with people who think being related to me gives them a free pass to disrespect my parenting. Edit. A few of you asked, no, I haven't responded to my sister's latest message. I'm tempted to send her a link to the Mayo Clinic's article on infant immune systems and RSV transmission. But honestly, I don't have the energy. I'm trying to focus on healing and bonding, not educating grown women who should already know better. Update 3. So it's been a few days since the whole kissing the baby while pretending to drop off soup fiasco. I've been laying low, avoiding calls, not responding to texts, just focusing on feeding, sleep, lol, and trying not to spiral into anger every time I remember my mother's smug little face after she kissed my son. My partner and I officially decided no visits until we say so, and no unsupervised time with the baby for my mom, probably for a long, long while. Then yesterday, my sister, 41F, texted me. I'm coming over. I'm not taking sides. I just want to talk. I wasn't thrilled, but curiosity got the better of me. My partner was home, and I figured it couldn't get much worse. She showed up mid-afternoon. Brought coffee, good sign. Knocked instead of just walking in, also a good sign. I opened the door and said, "You're not kissing him," and she actually laughed. She sat down and just looked tired. Not smug, not defensive, just older than I remember. She started with, "Okay, I owe you an apology." I didn't say anything. I just blinked at her. Then she said, "I talked to Mom yesterday. She told me what she did. How she kissed the baby. I thought you were exaggerating. I thought you were just being hormonal, but yeah, that was fucked up." I nearly dropped my coffee. She went on. She said she's proving a point, that you're overprotective and she's going to show you that nothing bad will happen. I told her she's being a psycho. My jaw was somewhere on the floor. She admitted she hadn't taken me seriously before, that she genuinely believed Mom meant well and was just excited. But apparently, after Mom's little drop-by visit, she went off the rails, started ranting to my sister about how I'm a brat, how she raised 2 kids so she knows what she's doing, and how she's going to call a lawyer if I keep pushing her away. That last part was the final straw for my sister. I told her if she even thinks about going legal, I'm done, she said. Then she looked at me and added, "I'm still mad at how you handled it with me, but I get it now, and I'm sorry." We sat there in silence for a while. Baby boy woke up and started fussing, and I went into full mom mode. My sister just watched me with this expression I couldn't read. Before she left, she asked, "What do you want me to do?" And for the first time in weeks, I felt like maybe I wasn't totally alone. I told her, "Support me. Don't play middleman. If Mom rants, shut it down. And if she ever tries to guilt you again, remember this moment." She nodded. I'm not saying we're best friends now. There's still tension. But this was the first conversation that didn't end in gaslighting or guilt tripping. And I needed that more than I even realized. Edit. I've had a few DMs asking if my sister knew about the grandparents' rights threat. She did, but Mom apparently downplayed it like, "Oh, I'd never actually do it. I'm just making a point." After hearing how far it went, my sister said, "She's delusional if she thinks any judge is going to side with her over this. We'll see what happens next." I don't trust the quiet. Something's coming. I can feel it. Update 4th. So I really wish I was joking. I wish I could say my mom finally backed down and realized she'd crossed a line. But that would require her to live in the same reality as the rest of us. Instead, she doubled down. About a week after my sister's visit, the one where she finally admitted Mom was acting unhinged, I get this certified letter in the mail. It's from a local law office, addressed to both me and my partner. I open it thinking, okay, maybe it's a cease and desist or some kind of ridiculous guilt trip move. Nope, it's a formal notice of intent to pursue visitation under state grandparents' rights statutes. I actually laughed out loud, sitting on the floor in my nursing bra, holding a spit-covered burp rag, while my baby screamed at the ceiling. I laughed because the whole thing was just that absurd. She literally hired a lawyer. The letter said that she was seeking regular, unsupervised visitation with her grandchild and believed she was being unreasonably denied access. It referenced her history as a primary support figure and stated that ongoing alienation would be detrimental to the child's well-being. Let me remind everyone, my son is 3 weeks old. He doesn't even know his own hands exist yet, but apparently, not having my mother kiss him on the mouth every other day is emotional sabotage. My partner was furious. He called the lawyer's office immediately, not to argue, but to confirm that the letter was real. It was. But the woman on the phone, a paralegal I think, sounded awkward, like she already knew how this was going to go. So we took it seriously. We booked a consult with a family attorney the same day. Here's what we learned. In our state, grandparents' rights are extremely limited, especially if the parents are together, married, and the child isn't being withheld without cause. The courts prioritize parental rights, our rights, as long as there's no proof of abuse, neglect, or estrangement. In short, she has no case. None. Our lawyer even said, and I quote, "If she actually files, the judge will laugh her out of the room and probably be annoyed that she wasted the court's time." We had a formal letter drafted in response, outlining that 1. We are not legally obligated to grant visitation. 2. Her behavior, including threats, boundary violations, and uninvited contact, is exactly why we're setting limits. 3. Any further legal action will be considered harassment and responded to accordingly. We mailed it, certified, with receipts. The best part? A day later, my sister calls me. Guess what? My mom never even told her she was doing this. When she found out, because Mom was venting about how we were turning the baby against her, She was livid. She called my mom and tore into her. Told her she was embarrassing herself, that this was going to nuke her relationship with all of us, that if she wanted to be a part of her grandson's life someday, she needed to start acting like it. According to my sister, my mom burst into tears and claimed we were brainwashing her. She's the victim, of course. Always is. Anyway, since then, radio silence, no calls, no texts, no drive-bys, nothing. It feels weird, like the eye of the storm, but also peaceful. For the first time since my water broke, I don't feel like I'm in constant fight-or-flight mode. I don't know what she'll do next, but I do know this. I'm not backing down. My job is to protect my son, and I'm damn good at it. Edit. Some of you asked if I'll go full no contact. Honestly, I don't know. That's something I need time to figure out. Right now, I'm just taking it one feeding, one diaper, one deep breath at a time. Final update. It's been a little over a month since my last update. My son is now nearly 8 weeks old. He's smiling, mostly at ceiling fans. He hates tummy time with the fire of 1,000 suns. And he thinks 3 a.m. is the perfect time to have long, emotional conversations and coos and grunts. And me? I'm finally breathing again. Let me start with the big question. Did my mom ever apologize? Short answer, no. Long answer, of course not. After the legal stunt blew up in her face, she went quiet. At first, I thought maybe she'd realized how far she pushed things. Maybe she'd been humbled. But then my sister filled me in on what's really been going on behind the scenes. Apparently, she's been telling anyone who will listen that I'm withholding the baby to punish her, and that I've been brainwashed by my partner. LOL, okay. And that one day I'll regret how I treated her because you only get one mother. But here's the thing. I didn't go full no contact for her. I did it for me. I don't check her Facebook anymore. I don't ask my sister what she's saying. I've muted her number so I don't see any texts unless I want to. The silence used to feel heavy. Now it feels like freedom. I did get one text from her a couple weeks ago. It said, "I hope the baby's okay. I love him. I love you too. I'll always be here when you're ready to talk." No apology, no ownership, just vague sentiment, like nothing happened. Like I didn't have to install a camera and hire a lawyer before I'd even healed from birth. I didn't respond. I probably won't, at least not soon. As for my sister, she's been making an effort. She checks in a couple times a week, always asks if she can visit. And when she's here, she washes her hands and wears a mask without being asked. I think watching our mom spiral finally opened her eyes to how toxic the family dynamic has been. It's not perfect between us, but it's better. And right now, better is enough. We had a talk recently, just the two of us on the porch while baby slept on my chest. She said, "I think part of why I defended mom so hard was because admitting she was out of line felt like admitting our whole childhood was kind of messed up." And I said, "Yeah, I know." We didn't say anything else for a while after that. Just watch the trees. It was one of the most honest moments we've ever had. So here's where I'll leave it. I don't know what the future holds with my mom. I'm not shutting the door forever, but if she ever wants to walk back through it, she's going to have to crawl and apologize and own what she did. Until then, I'm rocking my son to sleep. I'm learning what kind of mom I want to be. I'm choosing peace over people-pleasing. I'm choosing boundaries over guilt. And every time I look at my baby's face, I know I did the right thing. Final edit. To everyone who commented, messaged, upvoted, or just quietly read along, thank you. I never thought a bunch of internet strangers would be the village I needed, but you were. You made me feel sane. You made me feel strong. You reminded me I'm not alone.